That's a draft league slide. We're back, baby! Internet, good morning. My name is Magnitude, aka Steve, and welcome back to Draft League. They say you don't know what you got until it's gone, and I didn't know what I had until it was gone. That's why I said what I said, so I can then refer it back to. I enjoy playing Pokemon. I'm not gonna go back to the pure Pokemon channel that I was. I enjoy the other games that I'm playing, but gonna be doing Draft League. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy Pokemon. I enjoy the idea of making a team, having a team, all that stuff. I haven't played competitive Pokemon in months. I would say 7 months I haven't touched competitive Pokemon. I don't know what half the UBs do. The reason why I wanted to join a Draft League again was to kind of rekindle my fire with that. So I imagine the first few weeks are going to be quite rocky as far as draft prep goes. But that's par for the course because my entire career's been rocky. But I have fun doing it, so let's talk about it. Disclaimer, the Pokemon you're going to see that I've listed as round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Down towards the end, it gets a little murky as far as what was picked when, just because when I was going back to make these slides, I'm looking at the list of the draft, they didn't have an actual record of what Pokemon was picked in what round. It was just my team, so it was like Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4, Tier 5, Free 1, Free... So, I don't really know, once we get down to near the bottom, which the order was. I know the last two... but then I'm not really sure when I got my Mega. I'm pretty sure Z Crystal was last. But we'll talk about that. But this is the Milwaukee Sawsbucks UBL draft. Now, about 2 months ago, when I'd say about a month ago, when I got accepted into the league, I made a declaration saying I'm picking Blacephalon first round if it's available. I've never used it once. I've never watched it in a battle. I don't know its move pool. I don't know what the fuck it does. I'm picking Blacephalon first round, and it fell to me at 10. Should have told me something. Maybe it's not very good. Maybe people don't know how to use it. That's a Pokemon. Imagine you take this right now and you go back to 2000 and you tell your 2000 self, hey, this is a Pokemon. You just said, you're out of your fucking mind. I find that harder to believe than the fact that you were able to time travel back here to tell me that. That's how little that like a Pokemon. English. Let's talk about Blacephalon. No, I kind of knew its move pool and all that, but I feel like a strong Ghost type in draft leagues is a great thing. Scarf with Shadow Ball can decimate, especially with Beast Boost, and I feel like it's something that this Pokemon you just have to prepare for. And it being the types that it are, it gets Stab on Fire and Ghost. Those types, I feel like aren't very prevalent in a lot of draft leagues. But let me clarify that. They're for whatever reason, I've noted from my experience. We have different experiences obviously in draft league. You watching this video probably are better at me than draft league, but I have fun. So I'm like number 3 all time in fun. And I made the format, for those of you who don't know. I sprinkle that in once in a while, just let people know, hey, I'm still around doing stuff. I still have some impact here. Don't let the 58 views on a video fool you. I once was getting numbers in the thousands. And inventing draft format helped that. But I found that fire types and ghost types are often overlooked. Other than things like Infernape. That's about it. And once you Victini, obviously, and once you get after that, you don't really draft. Fire types. You're kind of like they're not very good, right? So they're kind of overlooked. So I feel like there's a lot of lax preparation, whether subconsciously or not, with fire types. And he's a ghost type. Shadow Ball hits stuff great. Fire types hit. The overall point is this is it's a clown disco laser creature, and he's obviously fire ghost type. Look at him. He's just protruding flames, and he's spooky. He's an apparition. I fell in love with Blacephalon when I first saw him, so I want to draft him in Draft League, and we'll see if that's a disaster. I don't know, but let's get to the next pick. Next up is Ferrothorn. Gotta build a solid defensive core, and I don't fall for the Steel Fairy Dragon core. I have a lot of strong opinions on Draft League while also not being very good at it. So why do I have those opinions? I don't know. This is personal preference, I guess. People use the word core incorrectly. They just think any 3 Pokemon that fit those types are also a core. I don't think so. I don't really follow the Fairy Steel Dragon core that well. I don't really follow too many cores, but I think so Ferrothorn does 2 things. It sets hazards and can come in and wall things greatly. And also, whoa, what's this phone? Also like 2.5 things. And it can also, do some Leech Seed stuff. Set up, be really disruptive pretty much. And I feel like for a mon like Blacephalon, I think Blacephalon's biggest strength is being able to sweep late game. So I need to get some mons that can, aid that, make that easier. And Ferrothorn, being a hazard setter, being a steel type, so it's immune. I got immunities to fighting, normal, and poison already. So it just helps with getting that stack damage up and then hoping for Blacephalon to come in at the end and clean up. So let's get to the next pick. Next up is Weevil. Dark type, ice type. I have said, actually, you can probably go on my Twitter right now and search the word Weevil, and there will be me just shitting all over Weevil in draft format. Disclaimer, I still don't think it's good, right? But also, again, I'm not good at draft format, and other people say it's good. I don't think it is, but my opinion's not the end-all be-all. In fact, my opinion shouldn't really even be in the conversation as far as what's good and what's not in draft format. People love Weevil, they think it's really good, and I think on this team too, it helps especially well, because now I have a special attacker, a powerful special attacker in Blacephalon, and now I have a fast physical attacker in Weevil, and also the speed being at 125. It's going to already create some interesting speed tier matchups where now people might not be able to sacrifice speed because they might have to try to outspeed, an adamant Weevil or something like that. So they might have to sacrifice bulk in order to do that, which might, give me a couple extra percentage points of damage over the course of a game, and maybe that ends up winning it for me. And Knockoff's great, Ice Crash is great, Fake Out, Ice Shard, I mean, this thing speaks for itself, apparently. We'll see, I guess. I mean, again, I'm not a good barometer. If I use something and it's not very good, it doesn't mean it's not very good. It just means that I'm not very good. It's a theme around here. I'm not very good at Draft League. If you're still here, I appreciate it. What I am good at, though, is entertaining. So if you're into a player who's like, above average at best, but will, give you reasons to stick around other than things happening on the battle part of the screen, I'm your guy. We're talking about the draft, though, not me as a person or an entertainer. But let's just get to the next pick. Next up is Vaporeon. Got a water type, got a Wish Passer, and got another part of the defensive core that can go along with Ferrothorn. Vaporeon, pretty straightforward. It's also got Water Absorb, so now I'm adding on to my immunities. So now I have immunity for normal and fighting with the Blacephalon, Poison with Ferrothorn, Psychic with Weevil, and now Water with Water Absorb Vaporeon. And what that does is at least it plants the idea in the opponent's mind that, hey, maybe they can't lock into a certain choice move because I have an immunity for it that can. So, maybe it prevents them, maybe it makes them run, I don't know, Life Orb over Choice Band, and I can, it's just the little things I'm trying to do. I'm trying to strategize a little bit more. Getting back into battling, there's a lot to it. So I'm trying to pick up on maybe little subtle things that somebody else might not have thought about because, they've played 100 games in the last 3 days in Showdown. So they have the actual experience, so maybe like that's not on their mind, but something else is, something actually relevant. But I'm trying to sabermetrics approach here. But right now we got two defensive monsters with Ferrothorn and Vaporeon, and 2 offensive ones, especially, and a physical one in Weevil and Blacephalon. So right now I'm feeling good for the first 4 rounds. So let's get to number 5. Tornadus Incarnate was pick 5. He has a couple things. 1, flying type, which means another immunity. Ground immunity. I just hit the table, things shook. Yeah, I don't know why I bothered telling you that. I'm gonna leave that part in. Ground immunity. So I've picked 5 Pokemon, and all 5 of them so far have at least 1 immunity. So again, we're trying to capitalize on that strategy. Also, Tornadus does something that none of the rest of the Pokemon on my team do. He's got Prankster, so he's a great support user. Prankster Tailwind, Prankster Defog, which is very important because it makes speed kind of irrelevant. So I can even run like a Lagging Tail U-turn kind of thing. So I can get all my priority moves out, and then Lagging Tail U-turn last, right? And then I get a free U-turn in Pokemon. It's something that threatens something out. Now, the English there was a little choppy, but I think you understand what I'm trying to say there. Things Tornadus adds, we'll just recap it. Another immunity, and ground immunity, Prankster, and support and utility. So, and not that bad offensively. So if I really need to, slap a Hurricane on there, we will. But let's get to the next pick. Another flying type, Gliscor in round 6, and another great defensive pillar in my team. So Gliscor and Ferrothorn now combining. They both have 4 times weaknesses, but they're 4 times weak to ice and fire, respectively. A lot of things can tech Hidden Power Ice. You saw Terrakions tech and Hidden Power Ice against Gliscor. You saw Landorus's tech and Hidden Power Ice for Gliscor. So in order to do that, they might have sacrificed possibly a move that can hit Ferrothorn or something like that. But it being a 4-time weak, it makes less obvious moves a little more obvious. So I can realistically imagine which Pokemon are going to be bringing Hidden Power Ice against the Gliscor if I know if the Gliscor beats it in every single way, and it's got even a little bit of special attack. So Gliscor also though immune to Toxic and immune to Status. So while not a type immunity, well, ground immunity, it's also can be immune to Status with Poison Heal. So I can bring it in on any sleep paralysis, anything like that, burn possibilities, anything like that, because it'll be Toxic, will be good to go, and it can be offensive if need be. It can, you know. It can run some support and utility as well. It's got access to knockoff, and it's got diesel defense. So far, I'm liking the structure of what I'm drafting so far, but let's see if we can keep that going to round 7. Next up, Toxicroak. What immunities are those, you're asking me? Another water immunity with dry skin, and also a way to get rid of toxic spikes if they happen to be on a team, happen to be on the enemy team, a grounded poison type. It's got solid priority, solid offense, dry skin, which is, you know, great, so I don't need to bring just Vaporeon, but I can still bring this thing for a water type immunity. And solid offensive options, but you know, now we're starting to get down to the lower rounds, so kind of the reasonings are a little more just to kind of fill in, you know, where the rest of the team might have. You can't really expect that, you know, tier 3 and below Pokemon to kind of fill the hole that 2 tier 1 Pokemon leave. So you kind of try to just fill those in as good as possible and just supplement as good as possible, as well as possible, I suppose. And, you know, I think Toxicroak does that. He's got 85 speed. He's not terribly slow. He's got solid offensive options, you know, knockoff, dry skin as well. And I guess they can get rid of Toxic Spikes. So now let's get to round 8. Speaking of utility in places you don't expect it, Grambo. It's got 3 very interesting abilities. Now, while Grambo only has 1 immunity at being Dragon type, we are keeping the theme alive. What Grambo also can do, it's got Heal Bell out of nowhere. So it's got Intimidate, in case I want to lower some, you know, there's some really big physical threat. It's got Quick Feet, so I'm essentially immune to paralysis at that point as well, because I can just come in on a Thunder Wave or paralysis. Even if they get 1 letter Toxic Spikes up, I can just get some double speed. And I got Rattled, in case I want to raise my speed and not have to worry about a Toxicroak or something like that. But that's a little on the lower end of useful. But another immunity, and that being Dragon, and a lot of interesting utility options, and a 120 base attack to boot. So really, Grambo can go like 1.5 ways, right? You can either run like a Salt-vested physical offensive, or you can run some kind of interesting support set that probably could be done better by another Pokemon, thus the half. But still, I think Grambo can find its uses against certain teams, and I think he's definitely got ways of being a very productive member of the team if given the proper matchup. But the last 2 picks here before the Mega and the Z Crystal, I think are very interesting as well. Now I do want to get to those, so let's start talking about those. Torkoal. Now I have a dry skin user in Toxicroak, but I wanted to draft Torkoal because he can, you know, boost Blacephalon's fire type attack power. Obviously, that's what I'm trying to say there. But can also lower water type damage coming at me. So something like you know, something like Bulky Water's trying to scald a Scald War against like Gliscor. You know, the sun might help Gliscor live a little more because he doesn't really succeed on the special side. Really, I wanted there to be kind of 2 teams here, right? I wanted people to always have to fear the fact that I'm bringing Sun, and I do have ways of complementing it. Not a lot of ways, granted, but I have Blacephalon, and like I said, I have ways of lowering water type damage against things, mostly against bulky waters. So maybe, you know, maybe I can allow Weevil to live a hit from a Swampert or Milotic, something like that. But, you know, this pick, admittedly, it was a little out there, but I think my round 10 pick, we sum it up pretty well. So let's get to that right now. Boom! Chlorophyll, baby! Victreebel. I wasn't thinking about Victreebel until I was able to get Torkoal, and I am so pumped that I got Victreebel. Weather Ball is great, and especially in the sun, another high-powered fire offensive move. And, you know, Sap, was it Strength Sap? Strength Sap, it lowers HP equal... you know what? Strength Sap was a new move that came out, so I really want to not get that wrong. I thought I had it right going in the video. I'm like, I got Strength Sap. No worries about that. I know exactly what it does. Then I started explaining it, and I'm like, I don't really know. So, user restores its HP by the same amount as the target's attack stat. It also lowers the target's attack stat. So I can come in and you know, I don't need Giga Drain as a healing move if need be. I can run Growth in the Sun, and that double speed is helpful. With, you know, Growth, let's say I could run something like a Growth, a Giga Drain, a Weather Ball, and a Sludge Bomb, and that's great coverage, right? Or I could run maybe some more like pivot defensive sets with Strength Sap, and just more annoying sets like that. And I do want to combine Torkoal and Victreebel. I am excited to use them. And I get there's going to be a lot of people that don't agree with the last 2 picks, and that's fine. Like I said, it's my first time doing a draft league in forever. First time playing competitive Pokemon in forever. So right now I do want to have some fun, and I think Torkoal and Victreebel could allow me to do that. Now, Victreebel is not going to catch people off guard, but I think Strength Sap will come in handy in key places. So, you know, I don't really have the most bulky of offense, right? But I have an Intimidator with Grambo. I have a Strength Sapper with Victreebel. But I also have, you know, I could run, you know, I could run a bulky Grambo if need be, right? I could run a bulky Tornadus if need be. I probably can't run a bulky Bucephalon, but maybe there's builds out there that allow me to do it. But I can run a bulky Gliscor. So my bulky offensive sets aren't tanks. They're just kind of like mostly defensive mons that have offensive abilities that, you know, I'm going to try to substitute that as just far as, you know, when I think of tank, I think of Snorlax, right? I'm trying to think of Pokemon that are like the same side of Snorlax, but the different side of the same coin. So the same coin as Snorlax is they're, you know, they're big and beefy, but they're not hindered either by, you know, do you know what I'm trying to say? I don't really think I know what I'm trying to say, but I want to try a variation of bulk. You know what I mean? Maybe not. I might be sounding like I'm a fucking psychopath, and it doesn't want to be talking about, which is fine. In my head, it made sense, but, you know, in my head, I did a lot of things that I thought made sense in my life that didn't. Let's get to the Mega pick now. Mega Manectric. Fast Electric type. Check. Those are the boxes I wanted to check. That's what I got. I mean, he's got Intimidate. Hit the kick table again. He's got Intimidate, which is, again, helpful on the way in. But he's a fast Electric type. And after Jolteon went, there weren't a lot of them left, so I knew I could, you know, guess in time and probably get Mega Manectric. And it just helps, again, with the speed tiers I got. He's a fast Electric type. He's got Volt Switch. There's really not a lot that went into this one. I think it's a great compliment for the team. And there's really not a lot I can say about it. He checked the one box of fast Electric type, and that was it. So, let's get to the Z Crystal now. Darkium Z. I thought of the remaining Z Crystals, what can I get a lot of use out of, and a lot of Pokemon get Knockoff. And Knockoff got that sweet power boost, so I could conceivably run Darkium Z on a lot of different Pokemon. And you might, like, I could run Darkium Z, Growth, Knockoff Victreebel, right? And you'll just have no idea. But also, it makes Weevil just that much better. Just having the threat of that super powered stab, Darkium Z boosted Dark move, I think helps a lot. But again, a lot of my Pokemon can run this Z Crystal, and I think that was my, I do know that was my train of thought here as far as Z Crystal goes. I know Z Crystal was last, and I know Darkium Z was what I was eyeing after like the 7th or probably the 7th pick. I'm like, you know, a lot of these fucking Pokemon get like knockoff and stuff. I can try to snag a Darkium Z. I was able to, and here we are. So this is the team, guys. Let me know what you guys think about the Sawsbucks. We have videos going up every week, of course, obviously, for the draft league. And I'm hoping, you know, honestly, if we're being completely honest, right, I want to be the confident guy and say I'm going to do well. I don't know if I'm going to do well. I just haven't played in a long time. I have not had one single Wi-Fi game or Showdown game in the Ultra Sun and Moon metagame. So there might be moves out there that I'm going to be learning for the first time, like Strength Sap, for instance. So this season's going to be a learning experience, a relearning experience for me. And I'm going to try to pull off some fun combos. But hope you guys stay with me, and hope you enjoy the videos that I'm bringing. And we'll see you guys next time. See ya.